Hi, my dear friends. Now we are doing the most important method of transportation problem. It's called the Vogel's approximation method. And in 2008 syllabus, in almost all the questions which tested in the exam, I think 100% of the questions which is tested in the exam from Vogel's approximation method. But the case is different in 2016 syllabus. In 2016, the questions are asked from northwest corner rule method, and for your CMF final all the questions is asking from Vogel's approximation method, and they will give the solutions of Vogel's approximation method. After you getting the solutions of Vogel's approximation method, finally you have to find out the modified distribution method. You have to test the optimality through modified distribution method. That is what test that is normally used to test in your final course. So this is one of the very important method, and Vogel's approximation method is also called the penalty method. And today in the northwest corner rule method and Vogel's lowest cost entry method, I have done a question related to nearline exporters, and this time I am doing a question comparatively this is the bigger question of all the questions which is given. So I'm going to do the bigger question so that my students will be able to do the smaller questions after this once they are got understood this concept. And there is one more specialty to Vogel's approximation method. Suppose if you are doing a question in costing, there will be two different ways or three different ways you can solve this question. And the answer of all your question, if you do in the first method, if you do in the second method, if you do in the third method, if you do in three different method, your answer will be 900 for every question. Your answer will be same. But in Vogel's approximation method, if you are doing the same problem, okay, same problem in same method, one fellow will get an answer of 90, another fellow will get an answer of 86, probably one answer, two answers, sometimes even three answers. Suppose another fellow will get an answer of 70. So there is a possibility like this. So this is something called, this is the specialty of Vogel's approximation method. Suppose one of your friend got answer 90, another friend got answer 86, another friend got answer of 80. Now when we are testing the test of optimality, test of optimality, what we are going to do, whether our answer will go down further, that is what we are going to test in test of optimality. That means the answer of 90 will reduce to further, definitely it will reduce to further. So because we got 80 is another answer, whether the answer of 86 will reduce into further, definitely it will reduce into further because we got 80. And we will check whether the answer of 80 will reduce into further, maybe it may not be reduced into further. So this could be the optimum answer. This is what tested in modified distribution method. So for doing questions on modified distribution method also we require Vogel's approximation method and penalty method. So I'm going to solve a question on Vogel's approximation method and in penalty, or it's called penalty method. Now students, you can write down: solve the following transportation problem. Solve the following transportation problem through Vogel's approximation method. Solve the following transportation problem through Vogel's approximation method. In bracket you write penalty method. Solve the following transportation problem through Vogel's approximation method. In bracket you write penalty method. It's called the penalty method. Now we have factory and we have warehouses. These are our factory F1, F2, F3, F4, and this is our warehouse W1, W2, W3, W4 and W5. We have 5 warehouses and we have 4 factories. The per unit cost of transportation from factory 1 to warehouse 1, it is 3. And you know what is the meaning of this 20. This 20 means if you want to transport 1 unit of item from factory 3 to warehouse 3, it costs rupees 20 per unit for your transportation. That is the meaning. And you know what is the meaning of this supply? This is the supply available at a factory 1, supply available at a factory 2, supply available at a factory 3, and supply available at a factory 4. And this is the demand from different warehouses. What is the demand requirement in warehouse 1, and you know these very well, very comfortably. Now this is the question, and it's a balanced transportation problem. Also, it's a minimization question. So once you copy this question, now I'm going to start the question. I'm going to I'm going to start solving the question. So whenever we got a transportation problem, the first thing we have to check whether it is a balanced transportation problem or unbalanced transportation problem. For this, you have to add all the supply 20 plus 30 plus 15 plus 13, which is 78, and all the demand, which is 40 plus 6 plus 8 plus 18 plus 6, which is 78. Our demand and supply are equal, so it is a balanced transportation problem. Now I'm going to solve the answers for this question. Is a very big question actually, and you requires the space management for this question really. Now see this is a very big question. Now this much big is this. For solving this question, space management is one of the very important thing. And we have factory, we have warehouses. This is our factory F1, F2, F3, F4, and this is our warehouses W1, W2, W3. Suppose our supply, which is 40, once we start doing the problem, the supply will reduce into 30, supply will reduce into 30, it will reduce into 15, it will reduce into 0, it will reduce like this. So we need columns for doing the supply. So whenever you are doing a question, we don't know how many calculations required. Supply will become 40, then it will become 40, then it will become 22, then it will become 8, then it will become 4. We don't know. So take enough space here in this question, because we already done this. I have taken only 4 cells for the supply, and for the demand also it's like, suppose here it is 60, here this will become 30, this will become 20, and this will become 15, and finally this will become 0. It's like this. Okay, so take a 5 rows for writing the demand as well. This is required. So after you writing the demand and supply, then after that we require some penalty calculation is there. There is row penalty is there, and there is column penalty is there. So the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 or 8, up to 8 columns, which is required for writing the penalty, and in bottom also we record 8 rows. So make the space accordingly. Whenever you start doing this question, just draw a lines which is very long. Like for writing the supply, it should have enough space, and for writing the penalty also we should have enough space. So after writing the penalty, like this, after writing the penalty, for every penalty which has to be connected like this. Okay, it should be a diagram. Actually it should be like this. Okay, there should be, use your scales and draw neatly, not like this. Okay, so this is required for doing the problem. Okay, now I'm going to fill, because we already filled the values very neatly. Okay, now this is our costs, and this is our supply, and this is our demand. So total demand and supply are 78, it's equal. Now we are going to do the penalty computation. I'm going to teach you how to find out the penalty. Now the first step, we are going to compute the penalty. The penalty, what exactly is the penalty? This is the very best method of transportation problem. We have to find out the row penalty, and we have to find out the column penalty as well. Now penalty is the difference between the least two values. Suppose, let me tell you an example. I have something to transport from my Calicut city to Bangalore city. My first option is to send these material with the help of some local private bus, with the help of some private tourist buses are running. So if I send the courier through the tourist bus, they will charge me 300 rupees. If I sell, there is a courier service run by Kerala State KSRTC bus. If I run through KSRTC courier service, it will cost 400 rupees. Now the third option, if I give this courier into some transportation, some logistics company from Calicut to Bangalore through some logistic company, they charge 250. They charge 250. These are my three different options of sending my courier from Calicut to Bangalore. Okay. Now the lowest cost for me, it is rupees 250. This is my best option. If I'm not getting this lowest cost, the next best option for me, it is 300. So this is my cost is increased by 50 rupee. My cost is increased by 50 rupee. So this is something called penalty. If my lowest cost over here, this is 3 rupee. If I'm not able to transport at a 3 rupee, my next best opportunity is 4 rupee. That is the meaning of the penalty. Now, this is one of the transportation which I have to do from Calicut to Bangalore. Suppose I have an office in Chennai. From the Chennai, I have to send a courier into Goa. My first option, which is 400 rupees. My second option from Chennai to Goa, my second option, it is 600 rupee. Now my third option from Chennai to Goa, it is 900 rupee. Now see the scenario. Here the lowest cost of transportation of sending some item from Chennai to Goa, it is 400 rupees. If I'm not able to send at 400 rupee, my next best option is 600. Here my cost is increased by 200. So I have office in Calicut. From the Calicut, I have to send to Bangalore. I have office in Chennai. From Chennai, I have to send it to Bangalore, Goa. So now look at here. Here the danger is my cost. If I'm not able to get the best one, if I'm not able to get a rupees 250 transportation, then my cost is increased to 300. So cost at the extra cost of not getting the best opportunity, it's 50. The extra cost of not getting the best opportunity, it is 200. This is most danger. So the scenario Chennai to Goa is most danger. So this is the logic. So now where I should focus more, where should I focus first? I should focus first on Chennai to Goa, because here extra cost is 200, which is highly increased. So that is the meaning of, that is the logic of doing transportation problem in Vogel's approximation method, and this is the very best method of transportation. Okay, now let's see. The lowest cost of transportation, it is 3 rupee, and the next best cost is 4 rupee. So what is the difference between 3 and 4? It is 1 rupee. What is the difference between 3 and 4? It is 1 rupee. The lowest cost of transportation, it is 1 rupee. The next best of transportation, it is 2 rupee. So what is the difference between 1 and 2? It is 1 rupee. The penalty is 1 rupee. This means if I am not able to transport at 1 rupee, now my cost of transportation will increase into 2 rupee. That is the meaning. Now look at the third row. The third row, the lowest cost of transportation, which is 3 rupee. If I'm not able to transport at 3 rupee, my next cost will increase into 7 rupee. So which will increase into 4, which will increase into 4. Now here my lowest cost is 1 rupee. If I'm not able to transport at 1 rupee, my next cost is increased into 2 rupees. So cost of transportation increased by 1 rupee. Cost of transportation is increased by 1 rupee. Now this is the raw penalty. That means the cost is related to factory 1, factory 2, factory 3, factory 4. Now we also considering the cost is related to warehouse. The warehouse has a lowest cost of getting transportation, 2 from factory to, and next lowest cost is 2. So if they are not getting a item from here at rupees 2, they have another option of getting the item from here at the same cost. So their cost is not increasing. So penalty is simply, it is 0. Now in this scenario, students get some confusion whether they have to take one of the value is to 2 and other value is to 3. So penalty is easy to 1, or the penalty is the difference between the least two value. My dear friends, here if you are not able to transport at this 2 rupee, your next best option is this 2 rupee. So your cost is not increasing. So simply penalty is the difference between the least two value. If there are 2, it is 2 minus 2, then the answer is 0. That is a simple logic. Now the next lowest cost in this warehouse one, the lowest cost is 1 rupee and this is 4 rupee. So the penalty is 3 rupee, and here it is 1 1 rupee, and here it is 6 rupee, the penalty is 5 rupee, and here it is 5 rupee, here it is 8 rupee, the penalty is 3 rupee, here it is 3 rupee, and the next best cost of transportation is 8 rupee, so the penalty is 5. So now you remember the example earlier, I have to transport from Calicut to Bangalore. Calicut to Bangalore, my extra cost of not getting the best opportunity is 50. I have to transport some item from Chennai to Goa. My extra cost of not getting transportation, not getting the best opportunity, my extra cost will be 200. So this is more danger. So wherever our penalty is having higher is considered to be higher danger, is more danger, because if you are not able to transport at rupees 3, you have to spend rupees 8, your cost is increased by 5. If you are not able to transport at 1 rupee, your cost is increased into 6, your extra cost is rupees 5. This is the meaning of penalty. So which one we have to take, that is the question. The highest penalty we have to choose. What is that? Once we find out the row penalty and the column penalty, then what we have to do, we have to choose the highest penalty. For me, there are two options. I can choose this 5 or I can choose this 5. Any of these can be chosen. So for the sake of doing the question, for the sake of doing the questions, I choose this 5. Now, what is the meaning of this 5? If I am not able to transport at rupees 3 per unit, then you have to transport at rupees 8 per unit. That is the meaning itself. So what should I do? I have to make maximum possible transportation at the lowest cost. That means at these 3, I have to make the maximum possible transportation. That is the meaning of this 3 itself. So once we selected the highest penalty, choose the lowest value from the highest penalty row, highest penalty row or highest penalty column. So the lowest cost is 3. So now I'm going to check. I have a supply of 15 and I have a demand of 6. So it's like the same question of like northwest corner rule. It's like a lowest cost entry method. So one of your demand is 6 and your supply is 15. So what you will be able to do? You will be able to transport only 6. So minimum is 6. So 6 out of 6, it will be 0. So I allocated 6 over here. Now this 6 becomes 0. Now see this, one of the value which is demand is 6 and your supply is 15. So we have to give the minimum of this. So one of the value is 16, other value is 15. So whichever is minimum, 6 or 15, whichever is minimum, 6 is minimum. So we have to give 6 is here, because they asked only 6 units. We have 15 units, we can't transport into 15 to them. So it is 6 is here. So 6 is given, so it will become 0. So 15 minus 6, this will become 9. So which part got 0? Which part got 0? This part is got 0. So this means warehouse 5 is not record any item from factory 1, not record any item from factory 2. They are not record any item from factory 4. So all the remaining value, once one part is got to 0, all the remaining value must be cancelled. So 16 is cancelled, 8 is cancelled, 9 is cancelled. So we have done the first step. Now we are going to do the next step. Again we are going to compute penalty. My dear students, you must draw this table very neatly and properly. Okay, now again we have to find out the column penalty and row penalty. Now look at here, the lowest values is one is 3 and other is 4. So penalty is equal to 1. Penalty is the difference between the least two values, which is 3 and 4, and we will not consider the cancelled values. Okay, this is 3 and 4, which is 1, and here it is 2 and 5. The penalty, sorry, it is 1 and 2, the penalty is 1, and here it is 7 and 11, the penalty is 4, and here it is 1 and 2, the penalty is 1. So no change happened in the penalty of column. And let's see what is the column, so row penalty, no changes happened. And now let's see what is happening in the column penalty. Okay, the lowest value, again it is same, it is 2 and 2. This is the one value, this is the another value, 2 and 2, it is 0. and here it is 1 and next value is 4. Again there is no change, it is 3. And here it is 1 and the next lowest value, I think it is 6. Again it is 5, no change. And here it is lowest value, it is 5, and the next lowest value, which is 8, which is 3. And here is already it got exhausted, it becomes 0. So we are not going to find out the penalty because it is got completed. So we will put a hyphen over here, we'll put a hyphen over here. So now have a look on the penalties. The row penalties are 1 1 4 1, and the column penalties are 0 3 5 3. Now which is the highest penalty? The highest penalty is 5. This is the 5. We have to choose the highest penalty. So now we choose the highest penalty. This 5 is chosen, this 5 is chosen. Now what is the meaning of this 5? If we are not transporting at 1 rupee, your next best cost of transportation is rupees 6. So your cost of transportation will increase by 5. So what you should do, you should consider the lowest cost very immediately, otherwise your cost is going to increase. So you have to give maximum possible allocation at rupees 1. That is the meaning of this penalty. So the our lowest cost, so we got the highest penalty, and from the highest penalty we are choosing the lowest value. What is our lowest value? This one. So towards right side it is 30, and towards column it is 8. So symbol in mathematical terminology, one of the value, demand is 8 and supply is 30, and we will be able to provide the minimum of these two numbers 8, because they asked only 8 units, we have 30 units, we will provide the 8 units. So minimum value 8 or 30, minimum is 8. 8 is given. 8 minus 8, this will become 0. 30 minus 8, this will become 22. So this part becomes 0 and this part becomes 22. So which part got 0? Again this part got 0. So once one part got 0, that means warehouse 3 got exhausted. It is demand is already saturated, is got completed, and it won't record any item from factory 1, factory 3, factory 4. So all the remaining values like the 9, 20 and 6, which will be cancelled. So 9 is cancelled, 20 is cancelled, and 6 is cancelled. That is the meaning of the this becomes 0. Okay, now we have done the second step. Okay, now again we are going to find out the row penalty and the column penalty. Okay, now in this one again we are going to find out the penalties. Now we are going to find out the penalty, and here first we will find out the row penalty, or next we will find out the column penalty. You can find out the penalty in any order. It need not be the row first, it need not be the column first, it's not record like this. So the row penalty, I'm going to find out the lowest value is 3, the next lowest value is 4, the difference between 3 and 4, it is 1. And here the penalty value which might be changed, earlier it is 2 and 1, now it is changed. The lowest value is 2, the next lowest value is 5. So difference between 2 and 5, it is 3. Earlier it was 1, this 1 is already got exhausted, now the value of penalty is changed. Now here the next, the lowest penalty, one is 7, the next lowest is 11. Earlier it was 3 and 7, now the 3 is got exhausted, so now the values has changed, it is 7 and 11, the penalty is 4. Now the next is 1 and 2, the penalty is 1. So we have done the row penalty, so we got the values for row penalty. Now I'm going to do the column penalty. The lowest value it is 2, the next lowest value it is 2, so the difference between 2 and 2, the penalty is 0. Now the next lowest value in this column it is 1, and here it is 4, so it is 3. 1 and 4, the difference is 3. Here there is no penalty. The reason is not this as selected early, that is not the reason. The reason is this part becomes 0 and this part becomes 0, that is the reason there is no penalty. It is not because of this 5 which we selected early. The reason is very simple, it is become 0, this is become 0, that is the reason it becomes no penalty. Now here the lowest value is 5, the next lowest value is 8, so penalty becomes 3, and in this there is no penalty. So Now have a look which is the lowest penalty. 0, 3, 3. Here 3 is the, sorry, which is the highest penalty. 3 is the highest penalty over here, and here it is 4 is the highest penalty. So which is more danger scenario, the more danger scenario over here. The meaning, if you are not able to transport at a 7 rupee, then you have to transport at 11 rupee. So better to transport at a 7 rupee. That is the meaning. Okay. Now this 4 which we selected, because this is the highest penalty which we selected. Now give maximum possible allocation to the lowest value. The lowest value is 7. So this part is 9, this part is 40, this part is 9, and this part is 40. So 9 and 9, 9 out of 9 which is given, so this will become 0, and 40 out of 9 which will be given, which is will be 31. 40 minus 9 which will be 31. 9 minus 9, this is 0. So 0, this part is got exhausted. Now look at here. Once one part is got exhausted, the other values 11 and 40 will cancel. Now this 11 will cancel, this 40 will cancel. Now we have done this question, the same question in northwest corner rule method. We have done the same question in Vogel's approximation method. In all that question, we got allocation to the number 40. So 40 into something. So your per unit cost of transporting is 40. So 40 into something, your transportation cost is increasing high much, high, very high much. And this time the 40 is not using for transportation, so our transportation cost will reduce further. It will be having a great impact, because we are not transporting at rupees 40. All look at here, other transportations are 2 rupee, 1 rupee, 10 rupee, maximum 10 rupee only. This is 40. It's a very huge transportation which is not taking us right now, so our transportation cost will reduce further. Now again we have to find out raw penalty, and again we have to find out the raw penalty and the column penalty. And I told you it is not required that you have to do the raw penalty first, and you can do the column penalty also first. Now this time I'm doing the column penalty first. Now the lowest value 1 is 2, the next lowest value is 2. What is the difference between 2 and 2? It is 0. And the lowest value, it is 1, the next lowest value which is 4, so the penalty is 3. And here there is no penalty because it's already got exhausted, it becomes 0, so there is no penalty. And here the lowest value is 5, the next lowest value, it is not 14, it is 8. So what is the difference between 5 and 8? It is 3, so penalty is 3. Now here the lowest value, so he is already got exhausted, so there is no penalty. So we got the column penalty. Now we have to do the row penalty. Now look at here, the row penalty which we have done. Now look at here, the least value is 3, the next least value is 4, the row penalty it is 1. So difference between 3 and 4, the penalty is 1. And the next, the in the row, this the lowest value is 2, the next lowest value is 5, the difference between 2 and 5, it is 3. And here there is no penalty, there is no penalty. Here the difference is 1 and 2, the penalty is 1, the penalty is 1. So we got the penalties of row and column. Now have to consider the lowest penalty, sorry, highest penalty. Now look at here, which is the highest penalty. Now I can choose these 3, I can choose these 3, I can choose these 3, any of the 3. Suppose in your class there is Mr. Ram chosen this 3, and there is Mr. Muhammad, he chosen this 3, and there is Christo, he chosen this 3. There will be differences in answers, it will happen, the differences happen. That is the reason the answer is slightly changing, and there will be different answers is coming because of choosing these different penalty. Okay, so I'm going to choose any one of the 3. I am going to choose these 3. Now I have to choose the lowest value. The lowest value, this is 1. So if I'm not transporting at 1 rupee, my cost of transportation will increase into 4 rupee. That is the meaning. So this one, okay, so this part is 13, this part is 6, so I can choose 6 here, 6 and 13, so I can choose 6 here. So 6 out out of 6, this will become 0. 13 minus 6, this will become 7. So 6 out of 6, this is 0. 13 minus 6, this is 7. So this part becomes 0. This part becomes 0 means this 10 is cancelled, this 4 is cancelled. So no more transportation record with the cost of 10 and 4, which is got cancelled. Now we have only 4 cells. These are the cells remain. Sorry, we have 6 cells. Okay. Now the confusions will increase when the number of cells is reducing. Especially now we have 6 cells right now. When it reaches into 4 cells, when it reaches into 2 cells, students get high confusion. Now you have to focus very more. So now again we have to find out the row penalty. So the penalty is 3 and 8. The penalty is 5. Next is 2 and 5. The penalty is 3. Next is 2 and 14. This is the super penalty. This is 12. Here there is no penalty in this column. Now see, if you are not transporting at a 2 rupee and your cost will increase into 14 rupee, that means per unit cost is increasing into 12 rupee. So cost is increased very much. Cost is increased very much. Okay. So this is the highest penalty. This is the highest penalty. And we already made this, sorry, column penalty, which also we have to find out. And this part is 2 and 2. This becomes 0. And there is no penalty here. There is no penalty here. And here it is 5 and 8, which is 3. And here there is no penalty. So this is the penalties which we already got. Now we have to give allocation. So 5, 3, 12. Now we have 2 penalties in this side. So 2 and 2, which is 0, and here it is 5 and 8, which is 3. So which is the highest penalty? The 12 is the highest penalty. The scenario becomes complex. So not complex, it's very easy. So highest penalty is 12. That means if you are not transporting at rupees 2 per unit, your cost of transportation will increase to into 14 rupees. So we have to choose 12. So now in this 12, we have to give allocation to 2. Okay. Now we chosen this 12. Now which is the lowest value? This 2. Okay. This 2. 7 is on to the right side. 31 is into the bottom. That means your demand is 31 and your supply is only 7. So you can transport only 7 units. 7 is given. 7 out of 7 is given. 31 minus 7, which is 24. 7 minus 7, which will become 0. So this is 31 minus 7, 24. 7 minus 7, this is 0. So this part becomes 0. So this part becomes 0 means the remaining value will be cancelled. The 14 is cancelled. 14 is cancelled. So now see this. Now we have only 4 cells. This is 3, 2, 8, 5. Now the confusion will increase. How to find out the penalty? Yes, somehow it is manageable from here, but the confusion will again increase from the next step. Now penalty is the difference between the least two value 3 and 8. The penalty is 5. Next is 2 and 5. The penalty is 3. No penalty, no penalty. Now we have to find out penalty here. 3 and 2. The penalty is 1. No penalty, no penalty. 8 and 5. The penalty is 3. The penalty is 3. Now which is the highest penalty? The highest penalty is corresponds to, this is 5. So we choose this 5. We choose this 5. Highest penalty is 5. We choose this 5. Now give allocation to the lowest value. What is our lowest value? The 3 is our lowest value. So give maximum possible allocation to 3. 24 is the demand and 20 is the supply. So we will be able to serve only 20 units. 24 and 20. 20 will be able to serve. Now 20 minus 20, this will become 0. 24 minus 20, this will become 4. 20 minus 20, this will become 0. So which side got 0? This part got 0. So this 8 is got cancelled. 8 is got cancelled. Now the confusion coming in this slide. This one, we have only 2 values. What we do for finding penalty? Here For finding the penalty, you should have two values. For the column penalty, you don't have any more than, there is only one value, which is 2. So no other value. So you are not able to find out the penalty into this side, and here this side also you can't. But there is penalty from this side, 2 and 5. The penalty is 3. The penalty is 3. This is there. That is true. Okay. The penalty is 3. It is there. But if you have only two values like this, 2 and 5. Now, even if we are not finding the penalty, or if we are getting some confusion, actually we have to find out the penalty 2 and 5. The difference is 3. If we got some confusion, what you have to do? Take the lowest value. Take the lowest value. Which is the lowest value? This 2 is the lowest value. This 2 is the lowest value. Now, anyway, the rule is same, and there is 2 and 5. The penalty is 3. Now choose the lowest value 2. Now 22 to here, 4 is here. So what we can do? One of the supply is 22, demand is 4. So we can give 4 to here, and 22 minus 4, this will become 18. 4 minus 4, this will become 0. 22 minus 4, this will become 18. So this part is 18 is balanced, and now we have only one value, that is this 5. So I told you, if there is only two values early, I told you early, there is, if there is only two value, we have to find out penalty. That is the rule. And if we are getting some confusion, because I have seen that many students getting confusion when there is only two value remaining. And if there is only two value, what you have to do? Choose the lowest one. This is the 2 is the lowest one. Give it first, 22 and 4. What we have to do? 4, which we can give 4 out of 4. This is 0. 22 minus 4, this is 18. Now go for the next value. This is 5. Now give here 18 out of 18. This is how we can do this question if you got confusion. Now this is the last value here. This part is become 18. Now here, this is the last cell, 18 over here, 18 over here. The supply is 18, demand is 18. So give this 18. So this part becomes 0, and this part becomes 0. The problem is over. We have done this question with the help of Vogel's approximation method, and finally we have to find out the optimal cost of the total cost of transportation. And this, you know how to find out from W1 to factory 1 to warehouse 1, 20 units at a cost of 3, and the total cost of transportation is 267 is the and we are supposed to find out the total cost of transportation. You know how to find out origin, destination, number of unit, per unit cost, and total cost of transportation from factory 1 to warehouse 1, 20 units at a cost of 3. And this is our total cost of transportation. Our total cost of transportation is 267. 267 is our total cost of transportation. Okay. Now, dear students, you can do this simple question with the help of Vogel's approximation method. And if you are not able to do this question, practice the previous question once again. And still not comfortable, I think I suggest you to do the previous question 3 times. And first you do with the help of the video. After you, without looking into the video, please try to do. And that whenever there is some penalty, suppose it's happened 3 is here, 3 is here, and there are 3 is here, there are 3 different penalty. In the problem we have chosen this. Now you choose these 3 instead of these 3, you choose these 3, and find out what happened to the answer. There will be some slight changes in the answer. It can happen, you can see that. So practice this question, and if you are not capable to find out the answer, that means your study is not perfect. Once again, you have to watch the video and do it once again. Okay. And in the next I will give you a homework, okay, which we will cover in the next section. Thank you.